to win the next college football playoff national championship? So glad you asked. Ohio State runs the Big Ten. They lost prolific tailback J.K. Dobbins, the best player in college football last year, not playing quarterback, in defensive end, and Hulk monster Chase Young, and a Thorpe Award finalist in corner Jeff Okudah. But Sax Harrison and Jonathan Cooper are back. So are Pete Werner, Tuff Borland, Baron Brown, and Shaun Wade, along with Heisman finalist Justin Fields, who is good enough to get them back to the playoff, but not my pick to win it all. Oregon feels like it has a shot with 4 returning offensive linemen and 2-time 1,000-yard rusher C.J. Verdell in the backfield. They're also going to be hellacious on defense with Kayvon Thibodeau and his 9 sacks last year as a true freshman, Noah Sewell, and 4 draft-eligible starters returning on the defense. But Mario Cristobal is going to be breaking in a new offensive coordinator in Joe Moorhead and a new quarterback with the exit of Justin Herbert, likely a first-round draft pick. I'd pick Oregon to win the Pac-12 championship, but not the national championship. Georgia and Kirby Smart are much in the same boat, as Smart's going to be breaking in a new quarterback, likely grad transfer Jamie Newman, who I affectionately call store brand Cam Newton out of Wake Forest, and Zamir White might become the new bell cow back. He'll have a ferocious defensive front and secondary yet again, but until he lets, yes, the new man, Todd Monken, open up that part of the playbook that's got more than 2 wide receivers in formation, I expect the offense to hold them back like LSU circa 2018. Speaking of LSU, we know now that we'll never see the likes of this 2019 LSU team again. 7 underclassmen have entered the NFL draft. Oops, that's 8 now with Thaddeus Moss, along with their seniors, who include Heisman winner and new king of Louisiana, Joe Burrow. They're losing safety Grant Delpit, wideout Justin Jefferson, offensive tackle Sadiq Charles, center Lloyd Cushenberry, running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and linebackers Jacob Phillips and all hail Patrick Queen, who got Meghan Markled by T. Higgins, but that's beside the point. Add to this the exit of passing game coordinator Joe Brady and defensive coordinator Dave Aranda, and you can see how, at least on the field and in the box or on the sideline, depending on how you feel about Aranda and defense coordinators on the sideline, it feels like a rebuild. Aranda's defenses ranked inside the top 12 in total defense in 5 of 6 seasons as a Power 5 coach. Since taking over the Utah State coordinator job back in 2014, Aranda's defenses have given up a touchdown or less in 48 of 108 games. That is good defense. But if you've been paying attention to LSU's last 3 recruiting classes, you'll come to see it feels less like rebuilding and more like reloading, but only if the gun is, in this tortured analogy, a muzzle-loading musket. Means it's going to take more time than you thought to pour powder, shove down the lead ball, powder the horn, and pull the trigger back. But you still might get off the shot just in time to run it back to back. It's about how quick you are with your hands, son. How much you've been practicing, how much your practice translates to skill, and on the field with drilled personnel. But we talk about practice. And how am I going to help my teammates get better? By practicing. In 2018, the Bayou Bengals finished 15th in the 2-4-17 composite rankings, came back with a number 5 recruiting class, and are still sitting pretty at number 5 with less than 2 weeks to go in the 2020 cycle, as the dare period has just come to an end. That 2018 class will have to outkick its ranking as it becomes draft eligible this year. But Dave Aranda and that defense had Derek Stingley Jr., and he's coming back. Nose guard Tyler Shelvin, he coming back. They'll reload at receiver with Biletnikoff Award winner Jamar Chase and his buddy Terrace Marshall. If Miles Brennan is indeed the guy, and he's even half as good as Burrow was, LSU has a shot to defend its national title, but I doubt it. Meanwhile, my Oklahoma Sooners will come into the season with a defense that returns sack specialist Ronnie Perkins and 7 other starters, even as there's been a mass exodus into the transfer portal. Offensively, it's going to look less like Sonny Liston and more like the Louisville Lip, with Rattler, Spencer at the quarterback, Jaden Hazelwood, Theo Weiss, and Charleston Rambo at wide receiver, and Kennedy Brooks with the brick was here, leading the tunnel digging redemption. You dig, Shawshank? That ain't offense. That is offensive. It's gonna look like it floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee. Your hand can't hit what your eyes can't see. rumble, young man, rumble. This 2020 offense can wrestle with the alligator, tussle with a whale, handcuff lightning, throw thunder in jail. Only 3 weeks ago on scout team, it murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. It's so mean it makes medicine sick. But we all know for Oklahoma, it's about how, or not whether, but how the aforementioned defense is going to get ripped. The Big 12 title doesn't mean much if you're going to get 60 dropped on your skull by LSU, even if they are actually the greatest of all time. The SEC is no longer chasing Big 12 offenses. LSU and Alabama showed that league not only caught up with the Big 12, it put it in the triangle and choked it out on national television 2 years running. The Big 12, and that means Oklahoma, needs to worry about chasing SEC defense. And that's the bottom line. Because, yes, my man Stone Cold says so. Meanwhile, Clemson gets back quarterback Trevor Lawrence, who has gone 25-1 as a starter, which is filthy, y'all. Doesn't know what it means not to play in the national final, and has been tabbed as the #1 pick in the 2021 NFL draft since Dabo handed him the musket and watched him turn into Benjamin Martin running through them woods and terrorizing redcoats in high heels. Man, I need that tomahawk Heath Ledger. Certainly, the loss of Isaiah Simmons and T. Higgins will hurt, but it ain't like running back Travis Etienne, wideout Justin Ross, and defensive end Xavier Thomas are the ones to mess with. A brief check of the receipts shows Lawrence, Dixon, Ross, and Thomas came in together in the 2018 class. They're joined by defense coordinator Brent Venables' kid and Mike linebacker Jake. Talk about your coach on the field. How about your coach's kid on the field who rocks the C for captain in case you want to claim nepotism? Nobody on that team has earned it more than Jake, and nobody is going to get coached harder than Jake. Means that defense is going to be as tough as Death Valley in September. It means it's going to be muggy swamp crack coming through your house, and as hard as Boris the Blade in my favorite Guy Ritchie flick. To quote Turkish, it might be damn near impossible for any team that ain't one of the greatest of all time, see LSU 2019, to beat Clemson's defense again. Another brief look at the list shows the Clemson Tigers had the #10 recruiting class in last year and are virtually locked up in the 2020 cycle with the #1 class in America. That is the best class in the country. Dabo signed 3 of the top 6 defensive linemen in the country, and a 6'5", 250-pound quarterback hits 95 on the gun from the pitcher's mound this year. DJ Uiagalelei just filthy, y'all. A swift march through the watered-down ACC means we're going to see Clemson in its 6th consecutive college football playoff. But will the real Death Valley Tigers still stand up? Not with Bricktop standing on or sitting on your sofa knowing exactly how to get rid of playoff dead bodies from years past. You see, it's Bricktop who taught us you're always going to have problems lifting a body in one piece. Apparently, the best thing to do is to cut up the corpse into 6 pieces and pile it all together. And when you got your 6 pieces, you got to get rid of them because it's no good leaving them in the deep freeze for your mom to find now, is it? Then I hear the best thing to do is to feed them to pigs. You got to starve the piggies for a few days, then the sight of a chopped body will look like curry to a pissant. You got to shave the heads of your victims and pull the teeth out for the sake of the piggy's digestion. You could do this afterwards, of course, but you don't want to go sifting through pig feces now, do you? They will go through bone like butter. You need at least 16 pigs to finish the job in one sitting, so be wary of any man who keeps a pig farm. They will go through a body that weighs 200 pounds in about 8 minutes. That means that a single pig can consume 2 pounds of uncooked flesh every minute, hence the expression, as greedy as a pig. Well, like Saul and Vinny, you're probably thankful for this lesson. I know it's likely a great weight off your mind. Now, you probably wouldn't mind if I go ahead and tell you who the hell Bricktop is in this story you're telling, and who the hell are you talking about in relation to college football, apart from someone who feeds, metaphorical bodies to pigs? Well, so glad you asked. To which I will answer your question with a question. Do you know what nemesis means? A righteous infliction of retribution manifested by an appropriate agent, personified in this case by Nick Saban, Dylan Moses, Najee Harris, Devontae Smith, Patrick Surtain Jr., Schein Lee, Mac Jones, Bryce Young, and Dumbo on a surfboard upon a hellacious red tide. Alabama is my pick to win the next national championship.